today is a great day to respond to some social justice cringe, people. And what better cringe than the reaction to the election that happened only a couple of days ago? Because believe me, the keks are still fresh to be had, the lols are still lol enough to be lolled at, and believe me, this is going to be some great times. And for those of you who are new, I give this to you. And we're better off than to start with some of our faves and some of the more funniest images to be seen from the reaction. So, take it away, SJWs, take it away. The 2016 general election was possibly the most annoying election I've ever had the honour of witnessing and having to put up with for a whole 8 months or so, however long it took people. But the reaction, the aftermath, was well worth the wait, well worth the toil I had to put up with both sides going full retard as people dug their trenches, took their sides, and the battle lines were drawn. As I said before in the previous video, in terms of the reaction, I didn't really care who was going to win because the keks were still going to be had. But I have to admit, the social justice one would have been much better than the Trump supporters' reaction if they reacted as negatively as this, as kektastic, as lol-worthy as this. It's so mind-bendingly dumb and awesome that really words just cannot express this reaction and how we have been waiting for something like this for a long time now. I mean, let's just start with the obvious. People were literally crying over this, crying over an election because it didn't go their way. You see, 30 years ago, we wouldn't have been seeing this from people. We would have seen them getting ready to fight for the next election. Did you really think the likes of Tony Benn or whoever the American equivalents were during the Reagan and Thatcher years were going to just cry and think, well, our lives are over now that these people have won again and again? No, of course not. They regroup, they rethink, and they go at it again in the next 4 to 5 years and see what happens. But just look at these people. They're crying. They're literally crying like a bunch of little kids who have been having their candy taken away by their parents or teachers. I mean, it went so far that a group of students at a university even arranged a cry-in. A cry-in! Is this the level of protesting today? I mean, this is worse than the time I was at a Labour protest and people literally went on the floor to show that, oh, this is how the Conservative Party is crushing us, rather than, standing tall and saying, we won't take it. It's this really stupid, subservient, submissive bullshit that really drives me insane. But I think what's better than this, even better than this, was this one person's reaction to everything. Literally, this is a meme. This will be a new meme. It won't be Smuglypuff, it won't be Trigglypuff, but goddamn, I don't think she has a name yet, and I can't think of anything remotely as catchy as Smuglypuff or Trigglypuff, so we're gonna have to try and do my best and say Crying Puff.
This has to be a joke. I do not believe this is happening. I'm literally about to fucking kill myself, and I'm not kidding. You better fucking fix this shit right now. I literally am gonna die. I need an ambulance. I can't believe.
I'm sure someone will think of a much better fitting name than Crying Puff.
You know what we're gonna do? Something that the DNC has cock-blocked this entire fucking time. We're gonna fight back.
Then we fight.
Yes, the common phrases that you will hear again and again is fight back. This is where we fight back. This is where we take a stand. And we're better off to start with than, well, Anita Sarkeesian.
For many of us, it's hard to fully grasp the reality of what happened during the US presidential election last night.
Well, Anita, considering that you guys don't actually have much of a grasp on reality in general, I think that's a very nice point to concede.
The entire world was watching because the political and cultural effects of this election, perhaps more than any other election in recent history, will send shockwaves across the globe. And as the world was watching, we lost.
Yes, Anita, you lost. Now, are we gonna see you in that characteristic graciousness you always carry with yourself whenever you're defeated?
The results of the election were a stark reminder that we still live in a white supremacist, patriarchal nation.
Oh well, I guess it was too much to ask for her to be gracious in defeat, and to at least think that some of the blame, and to admit that at least some of the blame goes their way, even though technically it was pretty much all of it. No, instead it's further proof that America is a white supremacist capitalist patriarchy, the same white supremacist patriarchy that elected Obama twice. Yeah, that's a great white supremacist patriarchy you have there, Anita, where Obama can be elected, but he's mixed race, so he's not really like a proper black guy, and he's just a coon and Uncle Tom, so he doesn't really count, does he, people? I mean, that's kind of what they're inferring here.
Progressivism, economic equality, and human rights took a beating.
Yeah, and Obama did a lot to address social mobility and the economic disparity. Yeah, he totally did a hell of a lot for that. He totally didn't get in bed with Wall Street and all the others and just said, what? I was meant to help the people? Oh, I don't remember ever promising that. As if you ever really cared about that anyway, otherwise you would actually mention class and all those other things that you never seem to mention in your videos, Anita. You only seem to be interested in moaning about video game characters' asses. That seems to be your forte.
Racism, misogyny, and Islamophobia won, as Americans affirmed white supremacy and patriarchy and hate.
Well, you know, we're just going to ignore all those coloured people that voted Republican and third party and just concentrate on the fact that the only people who could possibly vote for any party that has the likes of Trump in their ranks are white people. White men, to be exact, of course, because, you know, white women, if they voted for Trump, they obviously hate themselves. And obviously non-white voters who voted for Trump and third party, they don't exist at all. Just impossible. Instead, let's just label everybody, all these words that they're rebelling against being labelled, because that definitely helped us lose the election the first time, so it'll definitely help us lose it the next time in 4 years. Good one, Anita, you're doubling down. Excellent, keep it up. That's totally gonna work a second time.
Did I ever tell you what the definition of insanity is? Insanity is doing the exact same fucking thing over and over again, expecting shit to change.
Hate for Muslims, refugees, people of color, the poor, the queer community. Sadly, the list seems endless.
You know, apart from some borderline comments about illegal immigrants and some questionable things about Muslims, did he actually express real hatred for any of these people? Especially as he was actually photographed with a flag of the LGBT community, funnily enough. So does he actually hate these people, or is he concerned about two demographics but doesn't really care about the others? Just wondering. But then again, this is Anita Sarkeesian we're talking about here, so doom and gloom. It's all white supremacist patriarchy. He hates them because he's white, that's why. Reasons.
Now, it's not the time to mince words. The real-world impact of negative images and reactionary words has never been more clear.
It's all the video games and mainstream media's fault, even though 99% of the mainstream media were against him, and video games have been proven not to make anybody do anything.
Waking to a new day after a long and sleepless night, many of us are still in deep shock and in a deep state of mourning.
Oh, come on, Hillary's not dead yet. Jesus Christ, people, hold your horses.
And we must give ourselves permission to grieve.
Jesus Christ, the absolute hyperbole in her voice right now is irritating. Look, nobody's died. The state hasn't died. The world hasn't ended, Anita. There's nothing to mourn about. There's nothing to grieve about. Nothing's been lost. Nothing has been gained. Nothing has happened yet. We don't know what's going to happen. In fact, his U-turn, funnily enough, on the Muslim immigration thing and a lot of his pro-life policies, interestingly enough. But hey, you wouldn't be looking into that because facts, logic, reason, the truth, it all evades you, Anita.
But once we grieve, then we fight.
Oh yeah, you've certainly fought back all right, crying in the streets and in public and doing cry-ins and writing in the streets, but more on that later, people.
We must be organized and strategic. We cannot let hate win because this isn't just about us, this is about the world.
Oh, Anita, news from the rest of the world. We don't care about you. And by the way, you can talk about hate. You're the one who does nothing but spread hate about men, white people, and anybody who isn't a feminist or social justice warrior or a woman who doesn't quite think the way that you want them to think. Because remember, a woman's choice can negatively affect all women, even though it's just one woman.
And to the world we say, we refuse to surrender to the forces which seek to silence women.
Yeah, I don't think there's any forces that want to silence women. In fact, the only people who want to silence women here seems to be you people, because a lot of the women don't seem to agree with you lot, and you can't be having that, so you've got to silence them and make sure that you are the people making all the noises. Yeah, but hypocrisy, people, and self-awareness is not one of their strong points. We all know this.
We will not stand idly by and allow the continued intimidation of people of color, non-Christians, LGBT folks, and all those who exist at the intersections of multiple identities.
I'm sorry, but the only people trying to do anything like that are social justice warriors and radical leftists, because you're the ones who advocate segregation and that white people are evil and racist and all that, and men are horrible and sexist and misogynist and disgusting and corrupt. Yeah, and also you patronise these very same people that you're sworn around to protect, and then you will attack any one of them and use racist and sexist slurs against them and all sorts of stuff if they disagree with you. Yeah, Trump supporters, people who aren't Trump supporters but don't like you, are the ones that are doing it, sure.
We can and we will participate in the mobilization of our communities. We will resist the hate. And in the end, we'll win.
By doing the exact same thing that made you lose in the first place. Nice one, Anita. I'm looking forward to that.
It's only through collective action that social justice can prevail. Stand in solidarity, get involved, join us.
The revolution coming to a state near you where you can collectivise and form Soviets to fight the evil Pepekins. Well, that was Anita for you people. Now let's go to Cenk & Co. I wonder what they've been up to.
Another thing we're done with today is the era of politeness.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So progressives, don't listen to the Democratic Party who tell you to neuter yourself and be fucking polite.
I guess that's why Anna went on her crazy rant about shaming women for voting for someone she didn't like and not thinking like her. I guess that means that it's time to just be nasty to people for the sake of being nasty and for ideological reasons. Not for actually pulling no punches in a metaphorical, debating argumentation sense. Eh, Cenk? Besides, since when did you guys ever play polite? I mean, has the mainstream media's abhorrent behaviour shown that to be the case? Just wondering.
Okay? No. Progressives we're not going to be polite anymore. You know what we're going to do? Something that the DNC has cock-blocked this entire fucking time? We're going to fight back.
We're going to mobilise, we're going to collectivise, we're going to fight the system. Don't never take us down. Ah!
Ah! We're coming for you, globalist! Ah! Coming for you! Coming for you!
Okay, so you come here, you come to Rebel headquarters, okay, you become Rebel headquarters, tytnetwork.com/join. You join Wolfpack. We fight for a free and independent media. We fight for a free and independent government, free of the corrupting influence of money, wolf-pack.com. You join both those organizations, and we're done with politeness, okay? We fight back.
Yeah, it's just a shame that you put all your eggs in one basket and decided to shame the group of people, the one group of people, by the way, who could have been really good allies against this noble crusade of yours. Have fun.
And so, you know, I gotta be honest with you guys. Look, as much as I've been, saying all this stuff on air, it's my fault too. Look, I'm gonna be like...
Is Cenk growing self-awareness? What is this madness?
When the mainstream media guys talk about how we curse too much, or we're this, or we're that, or we're impolite, and we're, and it's not the credible way of doing things. It hasn't held me back, right? But I did it anyway. But I felt like maybe they were right. I don't know. Are we, like, am I the bad guy? I kept, so I don't know if you know this, but I had those doubts, right?
Hands. Are we the baddies?
And like, maybe we need to be more credible. Maybe we need to do this. Maybe we need to do that. And maybe that even did hold me back more than I should have been held back. I don't know. I'm being honest with you, right? And so when the Democratic Party said, hey, we should support Evan Bayh, I knew that was bullshit. I fought against those corporatists all along.
Well, until Trump won, of course. Then it was just like shaming everybody who voted for him. So, yeah.
But when they said, hey, you know what? Maybe, this strategy or that strategy I kept thinking, am I missing something? Why are we letting them close all the polling stations in the South? Why don't we fight back? Why don't we close their polling stations, right? And I'm like, but maybe I'm a ruffian. Maybe I'm a Visigoth, a Philistine, right? And I don't understand their sophistication. Every time they told me Obama was playing three-dimensional chess, yeah, I fought back against it. You guys have seen all their videos, right? But I thought, well, maybe I'm wrong, though. Because you know why? Because I'm open-minded. I'm that goddamn intellectual who thinks, hey, maybe we should discuss all the options, right?
Yeah, totally, Cenk. You're like one of the most open-minded people on the planet. TYT is totally not an echo chamber where everybody has to just agree with the party line, and anything that isn't remotely left of Stalin is just, well, haram, isn't it?
So when they kept telling me, hey, no, Obama's eventually going to come back around to it.
Basically, what the whole video boils down to is that Cenk is saying if you guys are sick of the mainstream media, go over to the TYT folks, because they're totally not exactly the same and weren't totally going through the same old shebang as they were, aggressively propagandizing against everything and everyone who disagreed with them. Because, hey, if you don't want the mainstream media doing it, why not the alternative media? Because, hey, they may be less popular and they may be doing the same thing, but they're still different. They're not like that at all. Anyway, people, that was 2 YouTube examples. There will be another soon. But first, we must look at what happened on Twitter, because believe me, there was even more of a lol fest. Anyway, I think we should start with perhaps the most interesting tweet that I found, and that was of course by one Tariq Nasheed, who in a moment of brilliant hypocrisy says this: "Ladies and gentlemen, this is our new First Lady of the United States. Stay classy, America." And this is of course a picture of the First Lady herself in a nude modelling photo shoot that she did. You see, this is the same group of people who will tell you never to slut shame, never to shame a woman for what she has done with her body and stuff like that, to always be respectful of women's bodies. But when it's someone that they don't like, they will go ahead and slut shame people. They don't like women with big boobs, they don't like women with big boobs in video games, they don't like anybody showing any bit of skin that they don't like in any context, unless they themselves are doing it, or you happen to be a little bit on the chubby side, or even more so than that. And I just think this is incredible that it's okay to slut shame this particular person, but not somebody like Lacey Green. More on her in a minute, of course. And then we had a whole slew of people coming out to express their outrage, and here they all are in all their glory. Ashley Birch writes, "What the fuck? What the fucky fuck? Yes, Ashley, you lost. It must be really sad for you." Anthony Birch, one of the main anti-Gamergators, if I do believe so myself. I'd say kill me, but why do I get the feeling Trump supporters will probably help me with that if he wins? Well, you know, they would, but they're not crazy people, most of them. And I'm pretty sure right now the only people doing something close to that is you guys. But again, more on that later. Jonathan McIntosh, oh, full Mac, and he states, "So, who wants to start an anti-fascist crew with me?" Oh, Jonathan, he's going all Wild West. He's going to create a posse. He's going to get the Magnificent Seven and go out crusading against Trump. I can't wait for that, Jonathan. Can't wait. And our man Bob, he says, "If Trump wins, US will have chosen the evolutionary dead ends of white supremacy, monoculture and patriarchy. It will have given up." Yeah, because when people like you decide that the only way the world can run and be safe and equal is if we all segregate and become evolutionary dead ends anyway, that's probably okay, but apparently white people are evolutionary dead ends, or at least white Trump supporters, because you obviously aren't. I mean, look at you. You're quite clearly the future of mankind, you fat fuck. Definitely. I mean, monoculture, hey, it's okay when they have their monoculture, but your monoculture, my monoculture, that's just wrong. It's just wrong. No, it's awful. And Francesca Ramsey, which I have more on her in a minute, I'm flipping my shit. Oh, shit, Francesca. You're flipping your shit. Well, this is what happens when you're a hateful person. And then Jen Nasty, she likes to say, "Congrats, third-party voters. You literally sent no message to anyone, and you're helping Trump win Florida, even though you didn't want him." Well, you know, they had such a small percentage of the vote anyway. What did they actually do? They took no votes from anybody. Gary Johnson got 3%, Jill Stein got 1%. Is that really stopping people from winning or making people lose? No, it's not. Speaking of Francesca Ramsey, people, old Franny is just not happy. The president-elect is supposed to bring the nation together. How can Trump do that when his campaign was built on hate? Well, that's funny because your entire career so far, Franny, has been nothing but built on hate. You have done nothing but hate on people for participating in other cultures. You have hated specifically on white people. Despite being in an interracial relationship, you seem to be very, very, very interested and gleeful in bashing anything and anyone white. No matter how good, no matter how bad, everything is bad if it's white. You have race baited, you have pushed this racial segregation, this bastardization and misrepresentation of history to further your own agenda, and this is the result of that, Francesca. This is what happens when you alienate most of society. In fact, it's not even just white people who are alienated. People who are mixed race, people who are Latino, funnily enough, people who are Muslim, funnily enough, black, they were all alienated because you people people cannot stop pushing this agenda and creating this toxic atmosphere. You made your bed, it's time to go fuck in it, to quote Randy Harper. And Arthur Chu, being Arthur Chu, well, let's just read this all out and let it speak for itself, people. I hate America. I hate white people. I hate you personally, and the only motivation I have is to spite you. There's your healing. Is it elitism for me to think me and my friends are better people than you grotesque cock goblins? Because I wholeheartedly and sincerely do. I never thought people were better than this. I thought institutions were strong enough to hold back people's innate shittiness. Well, I guess it ends tonight, eh? On the other side of the spectrum, sort of, so to speak, we had this amazing thing from TB, Total Biscuit. Now, this probably deserves its own little video, but I'm gonna just read this all out and briefly talk about it because this guy needs to be called out more, practically. Yes, he was pro-Gamergate, yes, he's pro-consumer, but he's not pro-free speech. And unless you don't think exactly the same as he does, you're censored, you're not allowed to speak on any of his Reddit groups, you're not allowed to do anything, you can't even comment on his videos anymore because they're apparently toxic, these comments that he reads. That's so much so that once he criticised his entire audience for so-called transphobia, even though most of what they were saying was this person had an annoying voice, which isn't transphobic, that's just saying that somebody has an annoying voice. But hey, let's continue, people. And this is actually quoting him because he wrote this on Twitch, but it has since been taken down. But Darth Tokira here has it all verbatim, and this is what he has to say. As adorable as it is that some people think I'm just overreacting, go tell that to the millions of people, including myself, who have now been put at a serious risk because you elected the candidate has explicitly said he will repeal the one piece of legislation that prevents health insurance companies from dropping people on a whim. How selfish it is of me to be a bit concerned about my ability to continue living, get the treatments I need to best take the small but real chance I actually survive the next 2 years and don't succumb to this disease. A lot of YouTubers, streamers, etc. are going to be assuring you over the next few days that they don't hate you and they welcome you if you voted for Trump. But be certain of this, I don't share that opinion. Even if I ignored every other awful thing about Donald Trump, his climate change denial, his racism, his complete lack of self-control, his willful ignorance, his terrible public behaviour, his sexism, the fact he's going on trial for literal child rape. Actually, he isn't. The charges were dropped because they were false. But never mind, let's continue, people. The fact that you, by voting this man into office, have put my life at even greater risk gives me every fucking right to dislike you. This should be, one would think, quite understandable, particularly to those who voted for this man based on their love for their Second Amendment rights. Unfortunately, the right to bear arms to defend myself won't help me against the machinations of Donald Trump, who will defend me and millions of other people in this country from the mercies of health insurance companies. Not the electorate, that's for sure. What's that American motto? Every man is entitled to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness? Guess what? The first one is a bit fucking tricky when some orange-haired troll takes away your health insurance. You voted for hate, don't be surprised when you get a little bit of hate back. You reap what you sow. Some people say it's time to come together and begin the healing process because we are all Americans. You might be, I'm not. I actually do get to say, this is not my president, and have it to be without a doubt true. Well, TB, before I get to you quitting Reddit again, one, you are a massive YouTuber, you have millions of subscribers, you literally live off of this, you live comfortably compared to most people in America and most people in this country. You can afford some healthcare. Now, if it's such an issue for you, why don't you just move back to the UK with your family where we have the NHS, which is free. You might have to wait a little while longer for treatment, but you will get your treatment. Plus, there is private healthcare here that's probably not as toxic as the American private healthcare system. Just because you have cancer, just because you are worried about your future, just because you are worried about other people's future, although it seems to be more about you, even though you can actually afford decent healthcare compared to most people in America who actually can't. But hey, whatever, it's you who's in danger, and people who voted for the other candidate, you know, the person that you can't actually vote for, or any other people you can't vote for, are to blame for your death, or at least a death that could happen. This guilt tripping is not going to help because, one, it doesn't stop people seeing the bullshit that you're spewing, and what a way to basically attack the people who basically made you who you are. These people pay your wage, and you do this to them. You throw them under the bus because you disagree with what they have to say. And in fact, we don't even know if Trump is going to repeal it or not. We don't know. He's been U-turning, like I said before. And besides, Obamacare is basically what Reagan wanted, so I highly doubt it's going to go anywhere anytime soon. But who knows? Maybe he'll replace it with something else that could be worse, could be better, could be the same. We don't know. But let's get to why he quit Reddit again. It's become pretty clear over the last few months that Reddit has been infested by thoroughly malicious, racist, bigoted people. Tonight, America handed them victory. I have absolutely no interest in continuing to be a part of this site. Reddit has willingly harboured and enabled a political hate group that spouted constant racist, xenophobic, transphobic, and homophobic bigotry, along with engaging in doxing and attacks on those they disagree with. Reddit did nothing about it, caring only about its own traffic and ad revenue. For what little traffic and ad revenue we bring this site, I'd rather not give it another cent by being involved in and contributing in any way to its continued existence. You see, anytime Reddit disagrees with him, this is what it is. Anytime Reddit does something that he doesn't like, this is what it is. And by the way, he clearly forgets the whole Chairman Powell era of Reddit. They were trying to get rid of all this shit. Where were you, TB, when that happened? Yeah, I didn't hear much from you. We'll most likely set up a place for our viewers to congregate on the website of our own at some point in the future. For now, I'm out. This site, along with this country, has become unrecognisable to me. I don't have the right to vote. I'm not a US citizen. Regardless, I earned my way into this country. I had to fight to get here. While the people who just voted for this, for its destruction, just happened to be lucky enough to be born here. I have no responsibility for what just happened. That doesn't bring any comfort to me, as well as it shouldn't. We're all fucked. Well, I guess that means you have the goddamned right to go and lecture people and patronise people on their own country, eh? And by the way, you've quit Reddit so many times. This hyperbole does not fool me, TB. You've always been a hypocrite. You've always been a flip-flopper. You've never been for free speech. You don't really care about these people. So jog on, will you? And now we come to the main attraction, Ms. Lacey Green. Poor Lacey Green, she was just so sad. She was so sad. I mean, honestly, it brings a tear to my eye. This is what she wrote during the election as it was going on. Regardless of the outcome, we're clearly a deeply divided and broken country. So much work ahead to mend, heal and restore the U in USA. And then barely a couple of hours later, we're now under total Republican rule, textbook fascism.
Literally Hitler!
Fuck you, white America. Fuck you, you racist, misogynist pieces of shit. Good night. And then Shay Carl, a YouTuber, a Mormon YouTuber, wrote, hopefully in the morning, you're ready to try to be more friendly. And then she replies, go fuck yourself, Shay. Ah, Lacey, classy as ever. But then Shay's response to that is just legendary. I don't want to go to bed with this salty contention. Should we schedule a collab or hate each other forever? How do we mend? Now, she later expressed this in a video. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring you the Trumpocalypse.
It happened, didn't it? It's not a nightmare that I'm in. It really happened.
Yes, Lacey, it happened.
I have some feels to get off of my chest. I need to put it somewhere. So if you're all electioned out, which I totally understand, just a heads up, you can bounce. My sweet sex posse babes, the Trumpocalypse has arrived.
Oh no, please tell me where the switch is, because we've got to hide it from him. Oh, and by the way, please show me on the Trump license doll where he touched you.
Y'all know me well enough. I value equality. I think it's so important. Inclusion, human dignity, avoiding World War III. Those things matter to me. And that's why
you voted Hillary Clinton and espouse hateful views on your channel. Yeah, you're totally for equality, and you definitely didn't want to stop World War III because of all the candidates. The isolationist is the one who's going to cause World War III.
last night was terrifying. I am so sad. And I am so angry. And I know that for many of you, your spirit has been crushed by this whole thing just as much as mine has.
No, I'm actually laughing at you right now. My spirits couldn't be higher.
So it's not really clear what exactly the future holds for us yet. But if we go by the election cycle, things do look bleak. Millions of us, myself included, could lose our health insurance. There could be serious cuts to scientific research, to climate change and clean energy efforts, to government programs for our sick and our poor, to education. Planned Parenthood will be target number one.
I hate to be repeating myself here, but again, he's U-turning on pro-life. We have no idea whether or not he's actually going to repeal it or not because of the U-turning he's doing, and he's so unpredictable, and as far as I'm aware, he actually stole his healthcare plan from Bernie Sanders. So, yeah. By the way, Lacey, you won't lose it because you can actually afford the healthcare, like TB. You two are comfortable middle class to upper class people who can afford decent healthcare in America. The poorer people, however, can't, and I agree, they shouldn't lose their healthcare. But what are you going to do? Are you just going to sit there and cry about it? Are you not going to try and petition the government to maybe help change Donald's mind?
My LGBT family now lives under a vice president who literally believes in electrocuting the gay out of children.
Yeah, he's a vice president. There's not much he's going to do because Donald Trump's the president, and as far as I'm aware, he actually hasn't got much of an issue with that community, only Pence does. And as far as I'm aware, Pence is only there either one, to tell the would-be assassins, well, if you kill me, you end up with him. And also, he's there to placate the fundamentalists. He's trying to get party unity there. It's a purely political move with Pence. Pence isn't there because they like each other. Pence is there for political reasons only, and Donald doesn't have to listen to him or even make any of his ideas come to pass. So I wouldn't worry about that one too much. But hey, go ahead, keep fear-mongering. It's fallout now, remember?
President Trump openly admits to sexual assault and is on trial for child rape.
Am I gonna have to repeat myself all night? Lacey, he never admitted to doing anything. In fact, what he said was what these people allow him to do, hypothetically speaking. And 2, charges were dropped because they were false and they couldn't back it up with evidence. So yeah, you need to brush up on your news. But hey, facts aren't important here, just the fear-mongering.
He is proudly endorsed by the KKK.
That's funny because one Jill Stein, who is part of the Green Party, also said she prefer him. Quite a lot of left-wingers prefer him over Hillary, and he didn't like the idea of the KKK endorsing him. In fact, it was just one person who was a former Grand Master, as far as I know. He wasn't actually in the KKK at the time. And also, by the way, the KKK have actually endorsed Obama at one point, funnily enough. One of them even said that he would adopt a black baby for some reason. Yeah, that actually happened. Go look it up, people.
North Korea?
North Korea? Really? I doubt that.
Putin? For real?
Yeah, and yet still you think he's gonna start World War III if Putin likes him. Whatever.
Are we in the upside down right now? Because that's what it feels like. How the fuck did this happen? First and foremost, because we let it happen.
Is she becoming self-aware?
And that's like the hard part to swallow. But also, from where I'm sitting, our political establishment failed us. Lies and corruption in Washington warmed people to a candidate that is completely unqualified and has no experience.
Well, you're only half right. The people like you spreading the bullshit of social justice and political correctness also push those people into that direction. But we'll just blame the powers that be only, and not just the people who worked with said powers that be, but think that they're rebelling against them. Whatever, people. She's at least somewhat self-aware today, Jesus.
And even more overtly, people say that racism and sexism are over. No.
Now you're inventing strawmans, but I've heard this one before anyway. Nobody ever said it was over. Nobody said it was over.
They're not over. They are very much a part of our social fabric. Trump saw that. He saw the undercurrent of misogyny and racism, and he rode that wave to electoral college victory. Without a doubt, Trump gave a voice to unspeakable darkness.
No, he gave voice to frustration, and some of those people might well be sexist, they might well be racist, but these are people who we fail to take to account because you people keep no platforming them and stopping them from expressing their views, so we know what they think and to avoid them, and also maybe to help fix the issues that they feel need to be fixed. No matter how silly, at least we can come to some kind of understanding with them. No, instead you allow them to foster and grow and become more bigoted, while at the same time pushing away the people that weren't towards people that they don't want to associate with, namely those actual bigots in mind, and thus we're here with Trump as the president. And it's partly your ideology, partly your party, and partly the culture that we live in's fault. Well, your culture, but hey, whatever.
You know what? We don't have to listen to it.
Well, rather than working together to actually solve this issue and, maybe make sure the system actually is fair and balanced and not corrupt, and maybe sort out the issues that you have been causing, no, just go back to your safe spaces, whatever. No problems here, we didn't really cause that much, it's just the Democrats' fault. It's not my fault peddling the bullshit that they later spewed.
You, my dear internet friends, somewhere out there in the world are hurting today. I have 4 reminders for you. It's okay to feel angry or sad or confused. Your feelings are valid.
It's okay to be angry, it's okay to be sad, that's only natural. But then there's this overreaction, and trust me, you know, the Conservatives have done it before as well with Obama, but it goes too far, and now people are protesting out in the streets and causing riots. At that point, nothing is valid. And the thing is, none of you want to accept your own mistakes. You've kind of half accepted it. And the problem is, you're going to commit the same mistake and probably not get voted in again in 2020.
2, you are loved, you matter, and your rights will be defended. That is a personal promise.
You've been trying to take them away. Why do you care about protecting them now all of a sudden?
3, remember that if it were up to young people, last night would have been a landslide in the other direction. So don't lose hope. There's tremendous good in the people around you.
And just wait until these people wake up and find out that they've been had for years. Then they won't be voting for your party, will they?
And 4, once the shock of this all wears off, anger and resentment may set in, like some people we know. But we can't do it that way. We gotta do it a different way.
You make that shit worse.
We have to use our anger to help each other. Whenever you're ready, and you have a right to take some time. But when you get there, get ready to be vocal, get ready to get involved. Please be proactive. I want to ask you guys to think about one question. What can we do to channel pain and anger and resentment into something positive and good for the world, for each other, and for our future?
We vote Trump, damn it! You voted Trump! You voted Trump! Oh, we yeah, he voted Trump! She been
For the next 4 years and beyond.
Yeah, I guess that's one way you could do it, Lacey. Or you could try and work together with everybody to make the world and America a better place. But you know what's interesting about these riots and all these people getting hurt and attacked in the streets is that this is coming from the same people who claimed that they were worried, they were paranoid, they were scared of being attacked in the streets by a mob of evil alt-right fascists who now have free reign to attack people whenever they want. Yet these are the people who did the same thing that they're afraid of others doing to them. But then again, what do we expect from a group of people who follow a literal criminal? Anyway, people, we had a good laugh. I had a good laugh. This reaction has just been beyond our wildest dreams. And until next time, this has been Charming Man 93. Like, share the video, subscribe to my channel, donate to that Patreon. Links down below if you want to make sure that I can do this full time and for your pleasure, where I can give you guest videos if you donate at $10, or even hang out with me in the Patreon hangout if you donate $25 or more. So, cheerio then.